Right now, we're learning the middle schooler suspected of shooting classmates with a BB gun has made violent threats in the past.
And the Oshkosh high schooler who allegedly stabbed a resource officer has been charged as an adult, plus new details about what led to the attack.
Plus, as state officials investigate a fatal officer-involved shooting in Beloit, we're asking police trainers what goes into the decision to pull the trigger.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
The student accused of shooting another student with a BB gun at Jefferson Middle School had previously threatened to shoot up the school.
The incident allegedly happened in September. Keely Arthur obtained the documents to confirm it and has been asking district officials what they're doing to keep the school safe. Keely?
That is correct, Eric and Charlotte. A district communications person told us they would have a statement responding to these developments this afternoon. They, however, have yet to deliver on that. The district employees who shared these documents with us say they want to highlight concerns over the district's handling of these incidents and that they are worried about the safety of students and staff.
On December 3rd, a Jefferson Middle School student allegedly shot and struck two female students with a BB gun, including this 8th grader. Documents now show that same student made previous verbal threats of gun violence, saying, quote, he hated school and wanted to shoot it up and kill everyone in the school. Those verbal threats were made on September 20th. A staff witness said of it, quote, his language felt like attention-seeking behavior rather than actual threats. Documents now show the student was written up for everything from leaving class without permission to using physical force against a staff member. A total of 26 incidents are documented, ending with the BB gun one on December 3rd. In an email to parents the same day, Principal Tequila Kurth told them, quote, at this time, we do not have any reason to believe the student intended to harm anyone with it. Speaking on that incident last week, Interim Superintendent Dr. Jane Belmore told News 3 Now we take it very seriously. Today, however, she declined to answer questions on how the district handled the student's actions or explain safety measures put in place. The student is suspended and facing criminal charges in juvenile court.
Of course, once we get any response from the district, we will report that to you on Channel3000.com and on News 3 Now.
Keely Arthur reporting tonight. Keely, thank you.
To weather, we get a bit of a warm-up tomorrow, but that could include a rain-snow mix. Let's check your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
In areas north of Madison where temperatures will be a few degrees colder, it's possible there could be an inch or two of snow accumulation as well. But first of all, we take a look at Doppler track. The snow is showing up across North Dakota and western Minnesota. The first batch will stay to our north, but we'll see a burst of snow about midday tomorrow. Total snow potential right now about 1 inch or maybe 2 inches north of Madison, maybe as much as 3 inches once you start getting toward northern Juneau and Adams counties. But south of Madison, it'll be just a mix of rain and snow. Temperatures right now are in the teens, although north of Madison, they are falling into the single digits. But those temperatures will stop falling in a couple of hours and start rising overnight into the 20s by early tomorrow morning. And look for a high tomorrow of 37 degrees with the snow midday and then just cloudy skies for the rest of the day. Later on, I'll take a look at the forecast that includes a little more cold air as we head toward the weekend.
New at 6, we're learning the 16-year-old Oshkosh West high schooler who stabbed a resource officer used a barbecue fork. Grant Furman was charged with attempted murder as an adult today. Officer Mike Wissink shot and wounded him during the attack. According to a complaint, this all started because a friend dared the teen weeks ago to stab the officer with a pencil, then steal his gun and either shoot himself or the officer. A 14-year-old student was arrested after school officials found a pellet gun in his backpack on school grounds. The school resource officer says the student was cooperative and shaking, saying someone had given him the pellet gun that morning. She reportedly told the student she hoped it would be a learning experience, that he shouldn't have a weapon for any reason, especially at school.
The two high schools in Middleton will reopen tomorrow after being closed today because of a threat to students on Instagram.
Within the past half hour, the Middleton Cross Plains Area School District held a news conference with more information. Madeline O'Neill has the latest.
Well, Charlotte and Eric, as of this afternoon, the district says it no longer believes this to be a credible threat, although the investigation is ongoing. And while police haven't identified a suspect, they could face criminal charges. The district says the Instagram threats were in connection to a school planned walkout this morning.
Makes me angry and a bit disappointed,
Middleton High School senior Ace Buchholz had planned to attend a student rally at Fireman's Park Wednesday morning, asking the district to do more to help sexual assault survivors.
I know that the rally's postponed right now.
An alleged threat on Instagram against the protest has the park empty.
But it is quite upsetting because it felt like we actually were taking a step to changing things, or at least getting people to notice things. And then this whole debacle happened.
The social media threats put a stop to the school day, too, canceling classes at the nearby Middleton High School and Clark Street Community School.
I feel like it will put quite a few people on edge.
The Middleton Cross Plains Area School District told families in a note Tuesday night that it had learned of serious and specific threats to high school students, which it says after working with police are no longer considered credible.
There have been no additional threats made on social media or through any other venue.
Threats come at a time when school violence is top of mind.
All of these incidents are hitting way too close to home with the incidents that happened in Waukesha and Oshkosh last week. Now our system, this week, it is emotional, it's upsetting.
We always get a shooter drill almost every single year, at least twice a year, and that's very normal. And we usually have teachers talk to us about it, which shouldn't be normal.
Police officers will be at the two high schools for the rest of the week.
Officials are investigating the death of an inmate at Columbia Correctional Institution. According to the sheriff's office, 68-year-old Larry Bracey Jr. is believed to have died of natural causes, but toxicology results are still pending. He was pronounced dead in his cell on December 3rd. That was during a prison lockdown that started November 8th, following 3 inmate assaults on staff members.
A federal grand jury has indicted 2 men related to their operation of a Dodge County strip club, The Hardware Store. Owner Michael Siegel and former manager Scott Heft are charged with conspiring to use the facility for prostitution between 2009 and 2018. Siegel is also charged with making false statements to law enforcement investigating human trafficking. If convicted, Siegel could face up to 13 years in prison and Heft could face up to 5 years. 2 Republicans have introduced a bill to create a medical marijuana program in Wisconsin. The bill creates a framework for patients with certain medical conditions to get a medical marijuana card from the newly created Medical Marijuana Regulatory Commission. The bill's authors hope to receive a public hearing on the bill in January. Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald says he opposes the bill and doesn't think there's enough votes in the Senate to pass it.
The WIAA says it supports a bill in the legislature that would make it a Class A misdemeanor to harass or intimidate a sports official. That bill proposes a penalty of up to 40 hours community service. It could also require counseling, like anger management or abusive behavior intervention, that the violator would have to pay for. According to the National Association of Sports Officials, 13% of sports officials have been assaulted by either a fan, coach, or player.
The state of Wisconsin is continuing to investigate an officer-involved shooting that took place yesterday in Rock County.
And today we're taking a closer look at the state procedures when it comes to using lethal force. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter spoke with police trainers today. Adam.
Yeah, well, Eric and Charlotte, the 3 Beloit police officers who shot and killed an unnamed suspect are on work administration today. And Beloit police say this all started yesterday after officers spotted a stolen car and discovered the suspect was armed. State trainer I spoke to today says police officers go through roughly 720 hours of training and are constantly mentally rehearsing situations like the one yesterday. He says the topic of officers using lethal force is taken very seriously and is at the forefront of the conversation within the law enforcement community.
Law enforcement use of force right now is a hot topic across the entire country. It's not isolated to the state of Wisconsin. And the Department of Justice, the Law Enforcement Standards Board, and all the law enforcement academies across the state take great lengths and great strides at preparing officers to face these encounters.
Now, it's not clear how long the investigation into yesterday's events will take or what results it could provide. I did contact Beloit Police Department, who say today they can't comment while the DOJ investigates the shooting. But we will continue to update our viewers as more information becomes available to the public.
All right, Rock County reporter Adam Duxter joining us. Adam, thank you.
Next at 6, a Madison school board member is opposed to the district buying a building to serve students with special needs. Why she says they should be in the same space as their peers. Stay with us. The Madison Metropolitan School District is considering buying a building for $4.5 million to use for students with special needs.
The district says it will help students with disabilities get the education they need, but Jamie Perez spoke to one board member who says she is strongly against this idea. Jamie?
The school posted on its website that they wanted to have this separate program space to meet these students' unique educational needs. But the board member that I spoke with said these kids really need to be integrated in the same space as the kids who do not have special needs. Here's why.
By March of next year, the Madison Metropolitan School District is considering buying this building on Holtzman Road to use as an educational space for students with special needs. Right now, they rent out space in this building on Olin Drive, but they say the space isn't big enough and the cost is becoming too much. According to their plans posted online, they say, "We are working to give existing students an improved environment and a better educational experience. A separate program space is therefore essential to meeting our students' unique and individualized educational needs." Nikki Vandermeulen sits on the school board and is a juvenile attorney at law. She strongly opposes all of this.
If we want kids to have an advantage in society and in today's world, they have to work with non-disabled peers. They're not only going to be with disabled peers. They need to learn those skills. Where are they going to learn them if they're in a program that segregates them?
The school plans to put all special needs programs in this one building that they could own. Their plans also state that their goal is to facilitate professional learning experiences that are engaging and push innovation to better serve our students as we prepare them for college, career, and community. But Vandermeulen said she knows firsthand this would have never worked for her growing up.
Why do you feel so strongly against this idea?
I'm the first autistic in the country on a school board. And I was supposed to be in a segregated setting, in a segregated school when I was 6 years old. If you look at me on paper, you're going to see an individual with cerebral palsy, Asperger's, attention deficit, apraxia, carpal tunnel. That's me on paper. This is me in practice. If they could make that mistake with me, how many could we overlook in the real world?
If the board passes this, Vandermeulen said students with special needs could be using the space in 2021.
I mean, no disrespect to my board. I don't even disrespect my school district. I just feel that this plan is a serious problem and will only end up being used to resegregate.
And I did reach out to the school district for comments on this, and they have not returned my calls or messages. The board will be voting on this at their meeting on December 16th. If you want to say in the vote, you are encouraged to go to that meeting.
Some powerful words from her tonight.
Definitely.
Interesting story. We will continue to follow. Jamie, thank you.
Sure.
Still ahead tonight, a slight warm-up tomorrow and Friday, but it won't last long. Gary has your first alert forecast next.
For an accurate forecast you can trust, watch First Alert Weather.
Santa took a break from his workshop to visit children in Madison in need of some joy this holiday season, making a stop at American Family Children's Hospital via that fire truck you just saw. They gave out gifts, sang some songs, spoke with patients there. Madison firefighters Local 311 donated money to buy gifts for each child.
It's great to see their faces light up when Santa Claus comes in, and he also visits a lot of the rooms. So I know in a tough time for all these kids, it brings them some joy, and they get to see Santa.
Local 311 has been supporting Santa's visit to the Children's Hospital now for almost 70 years.
Always a great time when Santa visits the kids at that hospital, for sure. Gary's here now we have a little bit of a warm-up coming.
We do, and we also have a little snow in the forecast, too, that for tomorrow. It's kind of the trade-off you get from warming up. You know, while we don't have much snow here in southern Wisconsin, there was a band of snow last night that brought a couple of inches to our south. To our north, of course, there has been widespread snow cover with over 2 feet of snow on the ground up near Lake Superior and a foot north of Wausau over toward Rhinelander. And on Doppler track, some light snow already starting to show up across Minnesota. It hasn't gotten here yet. Probably won't reach us until mid to late tomorrow morning. But the snowfall from that next weather system, perhaps bringing 1 to 3 inches of snow from Madison northward, probably only an inch or two from Madison through the northern part of our viewing area, maybe as much as 3 inches northern Juneau and Adams counties, and then perhaps 3 to 6 inches through much of northern Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan. But as we take a look at future track, you can see skies will be mainly cloudy overnight, and then tomorrow about midday you can see that burst of snow moving on through. It only lasts for a couple of hours, but that's right when temperatures will be right around freezing. Now to the south, notice temperatures will be in the middle 30s, so it'll probably be a mixture of rain and snow toward Monroe and Janesville, and by late afternoon it'll be gone. But again, when all is said and done, could be looking at maybe an inch or two from Madison northward. As far as the impact, I don't think it'll be a big one. With temperatures getting above freezing after the snow falls, that will melt a lot of the snow that does fall on the area roads, so I don't think it'll be a big deal. Otherwise, after the light snow tomorrow and the milder conditions, quiet weather on Friday, cloudy skies, maybe a little drizzle or a few flurries in the afternoon, but it'll turn colder again this weekend. We'll see a high temperature in the low 30s early on Saturday morning with falling temperatures. By Sunday, we'll only make the lower 20s. Live view from the Edgewater Sky Camp downtown Madison. Still mostly clear here in town. High today 19, the low temperature at 6, so it was a cold day, but right now we're at 14 degrees with mostly clear skies. The air is calm, high pressure moving almost directly overhead. Once those winds pick up out of the southeast later on tonight, these temperatures will actually start to rise. So while the northern part of the state already seeing below zero temperatures over that widespread thick snow cover, here in the southern part of the state, it's a different story. And notice the upper level winds becoming more west to east. So that means milder Pacific air is starting to move across the country. And there's a warm front also out to our west. The high will shift off to the east. The warm front will actually lift northward. And while temperatures are cold here, on the other side of the warm front, they're still in the 30s and 40s. So we'll look for high temperatures tomorrow to top out in the middle to upper 30s. Again, that little burst of snow midday tomorrow. Skies will stay cloudy for the rest of the day and through the day on Friday. The next weather system will probably arrive on Saturday. This could bring us a few flurries on Friday, but on Saturday, notice the wind shifting around to the north and northwest. That'll bring in the colder air toward the weekend. So look for skies to turn cloudy tonight. Low of 12 this evening. Then temperatures rising overnight through the teens. And for tomorrow, a breezy and milder day with a high of 37. But again, that burst of snow right around lunchtime, give or take an hour or two. On future track, the clouds move in tonight. Temperatures rise into the low 20s. Tomorrow, again, that burst of snow midday. By late afternoon, it's gone. Tomorrow night, maybe a couple of flurries or a little patchy freezing drizzle with lows in the 20s. And Friday, high temperatures will be in the middle 30s. Again, some flurries or some drizzle in the afternoon. Snowfall amounts an inch or two north of Madison. Otherwise, the 7 to 10 day forecast, notice the colder weather move in for the weekend, the high of 32 early, and then a quiet start to the week with a warm up at the end of the week.
The best left tackle of all time takes his place among more greats from college football, and Badger Hoops update from Piscataway coming up next. Former Wisconsin offensive lineman Joe Thomas was a 3-time All-Conference selection and a unanimous first-team All-American in 2006. But he said one of his best memories was from his freshman year. He didn't play that much, and the Badgers beat Ohio State 17-10. He played plenty after that, picking up the Outland Trophy for the nation's best interior lineman along the way. Last night, Thomas was the 10th Badger to be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame.
Well, I've got a lot of pride in my university and my state. I absolutely loved my time as a Badger. I loved all the people that I got to work with, and so being able to be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame, I feel like it's an honor that I can share with all those people that were so influential and integral to the part of getting me here. It's something that I'll definitely remember for the rest of my life, to be able to share my 4 years at Wisconsin with my family and friends.
Rutgers jumped out to a 9-0 lead on Wisconsin. The Badgers have chipped away, but only shooting 4 of 10 so far. Highlights from Piscataway as the Badgers try to move to 2-0 in Big Ten play coming up tonight at 10. The Wisconsin women have lived out of their suitcases for the better part of the last 2 weeks. A trip to the Bahamas and road games at Georgia Tech and North Dakota State, raising the balance on the frequent flyer miles. Head coach Jonathan Sippis says it's good to get reacquainted with all things home when they get back to the Kohl Center tomorrow night.
I'm excited for our kids to get back out there, and they love our fans. They see, we scheduled Saturday night around when we ate to make sure that we could see the volleyball game and see football, and I think they're anxious to have their own opportunity back here in the Kohl Center.
Most of the time, you know exactly what you're going to get from Aaron Rodgers. Now, some games are better than others, but there hasn't been a stretch of really bad games. So Bears quarterback Mitch Trubisky has had those stretches, but he's trending up the past 3 weeks. The Bears have won 4 out of 5 overall and are officially in the hunt for a playoff spot. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur knows Trubisky's part of the reason.
He just looks decisive. If it's not there, he's using his legs a little bit more. So we're going to have to be extremely disciplined in our rush lanes and just make sure we keep eyes on him at all times.
Bears head coach Matt Nagy knows he's getting one of the best ever in Rodgers. Known it for a while. The Packers also have a running game that could give the Bears fits. So slowing down number 12 is only part of the equation if the Bears want to pull the upset.
You got a lot of things clicking right now on offense. So, but at the same time, we feel good about our defense, and we'll be excited for the challenge. But it'll be a good matchup. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback that you don't see these type of quarterbacks come around too often.
Free agent right-hander Garrett Cole agreed to a 9-year, $324 million deal with the Yankees. But is he happy? He was 20-5 for the Astros last season, the deal's biggest ever for a pitcher, paying him $36 million per year, a no-trade clause, an opt-out after 5 years, and a partridge in a pear tree. So CBS Sports figured his approximate salary based on last season, more than $1 million per start this year. How do you like that per inning pay rate? $169,000, and my favorite is the $9,200 per pitch. Next season,
I'm sure they're all quality pitchers.
All quality pitchers. That's like a Canalti per newscast, 9,002. Yeah. Charlotte is speechless. Yeah.
Seriously?
You could bounce one up there, $9,000.
They pay Jerry the big bucks.
As long as I don't get paid by degree, because right now we're pretty cold. 14 degrees here in Madison. Yeah, I probably would have to write a check. Maybe a little bit of light snow north of Madison tomorrow. Otherwise, temperatures back into the 30s next couple of days, turning colder this weekend, and then a little bit of a warm up toward the end of next week.
All right, thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Have a great evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.